Hi, my name is Laura, also known as Sleep Nurse UK. I'm a paediatric nurse and also certified sleep consultant. And today I wanted to talk about all things feeding during the night. Now, before we dive into this video, I want to start off by saying the information out there for parents can feel so overwhelming at times. Google your question and you will be no doubt met with hundreds and hundreds of different opinions, research articles, trending topics and videos. And that's not to mention advice from family, friends, or Sandra down the road. Now, I have worked with hundreds of families over the course of my career, and also when I used to be a health visitor. And the advice that I gave so often and continue to give for families is to trust your gut instinct. Nobody knows your little one like you do. And it can be so easy to compare what your little one might be doing, especially in regards to feeding in the night. But I think as long as your little one is happy and healthy, and as long as you too are happy with what you are doing, then please keep on doing it. Now, up to about the age of 4 months, babies will feed frequently during the night, particularly breastfed babies, and that is absolutely normal. They need to do that to gain enough calories for growth and development. Many babies will feed frequently for comfort, and that is a normal biological thing for them to be doing. And I would never advise any form of sleep training before 4 months of old, because babies do wake up, and that is what they are programmed to do, and that is normal and natural. Now, over the ages of 4 months, babies' sleep and feeding differs greatly. So I know some babies who sleep through from 4 months. I know 2-year-olds who still have a feed in the night. And the basis, really, what is at the foundation of this is if it is working for the family. So as long as little one is healthy, is thriving, and as long as parents are happy with what they are currently doing, I always advise to keep on doing it. Now, a question I get asked a lot is, should breastfeeding babies switch to formula if the family are experiencing sleep concerns with their little one? Again, this applies to little ones over the age of 4 months. And my advice is always no. Please don't switch to formula or follow on milk or hungrier baby milk if the only reason you're doing it is for sleep. And there's a reason for that. And the reason is because if your little one is waking frequently during the night, it's more likely to be because of a sleep habit. It might be because that they are being fed to sleep and they need to be fed frequently to link their sleep cycles. It might be something to do with the sleep environment. It might be too light for them, it might be too cold for them, or there might be an imbalance in the daytime or nighttime sleeps. But the reason the baby is waking is more likely to be due to one of these other reasons rather than stemming just from hunger. Also, we know that breast milk contains this amazing amino acid called tryptophan, and tryptophan is very similar to melatonin in how it works on the body. So it helps with relaxation, it helps with the quality and quantity of a little one's sleep. So there's this amazing amino acid in breast milk in the evening, which also is helping contribute to sleep. Now, if you are wanting to switch to formula from breast milk for another particular reason, I would always say do what works for you. If you have got any particular breastfeeding concerns, though, I would always try and seek out some support with that, maybe from a local group, a local breastfeeding advisor, your local health visitor, before making that change. but it's such a personal decision to make. So always go with your gut, always do what is right for you, but please don't switch just because of a sleep concern, because the reason your little one is waking is probably something other than hunger. A lot of families also talk about dream feeding with their little ones. Again, if you Google this topic, you will be hit with hundreds of different websites advising for it, advising against it. Now, my personal experience with dream feeding when I've worked with families is some families rave about it and think it's an amazing thing to do. For others, it's never worked or they never needed to use it. Now, dream feeds are the process where you take a feed to your little one when they are asleep, so they haven't woke up for the feed. Now, normally most babies will wake when you start feeding them, and that is normal, but it is still classed as a dream feed. Now, I would always advise making sure your little one doesn't have any difficulty swallowing or sucking, is healthy and gaining weight, and also doesn't have any concerns with their development. And you do have to be cautious when using dream feed. So please always make sure you do your research and maybe speak to your local health professional if you are considering doing dream feeds and have questions about it. But as I say, for some people it really works, but it's not something you have to do. Many parents will use a dream feed if they are putting little one to bed, say at 7:30, and then if parents come up to bed at about 10 o'clock, parents may then give a dream feed in the hope that little one will then feel full and sleep for a little bit longer. As I say, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Babies can wake up for a variety of reasons, as I mentioned earlier, maybe due to the sleep environment, maybe it's just one of those nights. So always weigh up what is best for you. Sleep consultants sometimes use dream feeds and also something called responsive feeds to help break the cycle if a little one is feeding to sleep and can't link their own sleep cycles. But that is very much on an individual and one-to-one basis. So when should you stop feeding your little one overnight? And the answer to this question is whenever the time feels right for you. Don't Google it, please. You know your child better than anyone. And please don't be shamed or made to feel you are doing it wrong. Again, I know little ones that have slept through from 4 months. I know 2-year-olds that might still be having one feed during the night. Now, the only reason I would say to not feed frequently during the night would be once babies are about over the age of 1. Because what you don't want to be doing is filling them up with milk overnight and it then having an impact on their dietary intake during the day, because they need to be getting their vitamins, their minerals, all that good stuff from food from over the age of 1. The NHS guidance currently states that from about 6 months, babies might not need a feed during the night. But again, do what works for you. I think if it's not working for you, that is when you might want to do something about night feeding. So if your little one is over the age of 4 months and is waking very frequently to feeds, again, that is probably something linked to needing help linking their sleep cycles. It might be worth getting support from a sleep consultant like myself. So how do you know when to stop feeding during the night, apart from the reason that, you know, if it stops working for you or your little one? If your little one starts having licking nappies, or if your little one is having stomach ache or is seeming uncomfortable in the night, sometimes that can be a sign that they're taking their calorie requirement over that 24-hour period instead of a 12-hour period. And the digestive system is awake and processing that milk when actually, due to their age, the digestive system should be rested, and it's that activation of the digestive system during all the night that can lead to stomachache, excess gas, or feelings of discomfort for little ones. So there is so much information out there regarding feeding during the night. Again, I've said this frequently throughout this video. Please do what works for you. Now, I work with little ones from 4 months of age right up until about 6 years of age, and I work with children who have a variety of sleep needs and sleep concerns. I work with a lot of babies who maybe are needing feeding to link their sleep cycles, or who may need to be rocked or need to be held to sleep. And I employ a range of really responsive, individualised and tailored sleep plans for parents. And I really am with you every step of the way. If you've watched this video and you're thinking, I might need some support with my little one's sleep, whether that be due to something linked to their feeding, or whether that might be due to rocking to sleep, or even anxiety around bedtime for older children, or getting into your bed when you would prefer them to stay in their own space, please feel free to send me an email. You'll find my contact details down below. You can also find the details for my website, where you can book a completely free and no obligation call with me, and we'll just chat about what is going on for you, and you can decide if I'm a good fit for you and your family. I really feel like working with a sleep consultant is a bit of a leap of faith, especially if you are in the depths of sleep deprivation. So I think it's really important that you trust any sleep consultant that you work with and really feel that it's a good fit for you and your family. So as I say, all those details are in the box down below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing week, and I will see you next time. Bye.